Hello everyone, welcome back to a video that I'm actually really excited about doing. I am very rarely on top of getting videos out in a timely manner when big things are happening in pop culture, but for those of you who don't know, I am a huge Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift, I love her music, and I am just as excited as everyone else who loves Taylor Swift by the fact that she announced a new album, The Life of a Showgirl. I am so excited for this album. I think it's going to be great. I love 1989 and I'm really excited to see the popness of 1989 with the lyricism of the Torture Poets Department. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be magical. And so I wanted to make a video about it, even though I do not talk about music. I don't talk about pop culture really, and I don't really even talk about Taylor Swift on my channel, hardly ever. But I'm going to make my two interests go together, and I'm going to make a video talking about books that I think will match the songs on her upcoming album. And then after the album comes out and I've listened to the songs, I'm probably going to make a follow-up video talking about whether I think I made a good choice and maybe a different book that I think might have fit better after having actually heard the song. Now, I'm doing this in a way that makes it a little more difficult because I have chosen to pick only fantasy books for this list. I know that if I chose other books, it probably would be easier to find ones that fit these songs. But I'm doing only fantasy books because fantasy is my number one genre that I read. I absolutely love it. Plus, I think it makes it a little more challenging and it might make it a little bit funnier or funner to go back and look and see if I can force these books to fit these songs or not. But that's what I am going to do. I did try to dress a little bit for this video. I have my Lover cardigan on, and this is kind of the closest I could get to orange besides a sleeping shirt that I own, but we weren't going to go with that. So the first song on the album is The Fate of Ophelia, and for this one I decided to go with Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Ophelia kind of has a tragic story. She is put into a situation and almost used as a pawn by people who should love her and should care about her, and I kind of am seeing this as someone who wants to do well by the people she loves and cares about. But I don't know the Ophelia story very well. I'm going to preface with that for those of you who are really big buffs on these types of things and are going to call me out. I know I don't know it that well. You can say it in the comments if you want. That's fine. I don't mind having a discourse about it down there, but I just want you to know that I am self-aware. But I'm going with this one because I think it kind of fits the main female character in this story. This is a very beautifully written story as well, which gives me more of the feeling of Shakespeare, how his words just flow so beautifully together, and just the way he puts words together are beautiful along with the stories he's telling, and I think that's something that Laini Taylor also does really well. I think that this character has a lot of feelings of obligation and wanting to do well by her family, by the ones that she loves and feels a responsibility and a loyalty to. But I also think she wants to have more, wants to have love, and she has a very tragic story. So this is the book I'm going to put on for that song. And I'm really excited about this choice. I'm thinking it might fit fairly well. We'll see. Track 2 is Elizabeth Taylor, and this one was actually surprisingly difficult for me to choose. I feel that if I was choosing not fantasy, I obviously would have chosen The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That one just, it fits. We all know it does. But since I'm going with fantasy books only, I decided to choose The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and hear me out on this one. Because some of you are going to be like, this does not fit at all. And you might be right. You might be right. But I kind of thought about the story of Elizabeth Taylor, but more getting inside her and what she wanted in her life, and how this kind of forbidden-esque romance, this romance that she had with someone who she wasn't really supposed to, and how it was just kind of problematic, is huge deal. I'm going with this because our main character in here comes into the story and she is very much in the spotlight. She's every move she makes is being watched. She is so publicly viewed. Everything she does is scrutinized, and she's kind of shown to have a little bit of these romantic entanglements with 3 different men. Take it as you will for those of you who have read this story, but the one that I feel is her like ultimate love is one that also is being watched very closely. Everything he does is also scrutinized, and their love story would have been scandalous. It would have caused ripples throughout so much more than just them and their personal relationships. But I feel like Elizabeth Taylor still wanted that love. She wanted that romantic, epic love story. And I do feel that that's something that our main character here is a little bit pulled between, and she feels that that's something she has to fight against for her people, for what is best for the world. And so that's why I'm putting this on here. Again, it's a stretch, I know, but I'm hoping that it kind of fits a little bit, and you can tell me your thoughts in the comments. Tear this apart. I want the discourse, but this is the one I've chosen for that. Track 3 is Opalite, and this is one that a lot of people are thinking is going to be one of their favorite on this album, and I agree. I think this is one I could absolutely love as well. But the book that I am going with is Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reid. Now, when I think of Opalite, I think it's kind of a synthetic opal, right? This is man-made, but it is beautiful. It's attractive. It's so nice to look at, but it is made by man and not like found in nature, I guess. And so I'm choosing this one because a really big part of this story is these very beautiful women called angels who are made, at least in part, by humans, right? They have so much man-madeness to them that they're almost not human anymore, but they are so beautiful to the eye. They're very attractive, and they are kind of representing something else that is like natural, right? Like the natural beauties, but enhanced and made even more beautiful by man. They're like, that's what I'm going for with this. So that is why I chose this one. I am very interested to see what Opalite is actually about, though, because all we have is the name, so I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm hoping that this one will fit with it, and that's why I decided to choose this for that song. Track 4 is Father Figure, and this one I could be 1,000,000% off on. I think it's going to be a little bit different than I'm going with in this book choice, but I'm still doing it. And I am choosing Aragon by Christopher Paolini because I do think that this concept of like the father figure versus the actual like father in this story is so important. And so like it's something that kind of follows throughout the story. In this one in particular, in Aragon, we have this character who is definitely a father figure, a mentor figure for our main character, Aragon, as he's becoming the kind of like hero that he is meant to be, right? He travels with him, he teaches him, he tries to help him grow into a good person, a good man. And that's something that I think showed like him as the father figure. But then also Aragon having this thought of like, who is my father? And then viewing his uncle as his father as well, right? Because he stepped in and he filled that role for him throughout the majority of his life. So I think that father figures in this series in particular are really important, and that's something that's really explored. But I think it's going to be wrong for the song. I'm still picking it. I'm still doing it, even though I am pretty sure that this is one I'm going to get wrong. Track 5 is called Eldest Daughter, and this is another one that so many people think is going to be one of their favorites on this album. I don't think it will be for me so much, but the book that I chose for it is a favorite of mine, and that is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This book focuses very much on 2 sisters, and it's partially about their relationship, but not so much their relationship together, because they are not together for the majority of this book, but kind of them and their place as sisters within this book and within this world. The eldest daughter in this book is raised to be a certain way, to be a certain person, to fill a certain role, and that is her purpose in life. And then when that's taken away, it's very difficult for her to figure out who she is and what she is supposed to do, because she has almost like lost her purpose, right? So following this girl and watching her grow and become who she actually is versus who she's being told she should be as the eldest daughter, her responsibilities to her family, to her people, to her country, everything that she had put on her, and her navigating the changes to her status and the expectations after kind of everything is just taken away in an instant is really interesting. I think that she's also a character that some people really do not like and struggle with a lot, and I did on the first read, but I feel like, especially on my reread of this, I see like how much inner turmoil and struggle she has and how much she wants to do what is right. She wants to be a good eldest daughter, a good eldest princess, and like do right by her people. And that kind of pressure and that expectation, I think, is something we might see in this song. So this is my choice for this one. And I actually feel like this is a good choice. I'm feeling good about this one. Track 6 is Ruin the Friendship. And I think that this is it's gonna be an interesting choice, and I might get a little bit of discussion on this, but I decided to go with Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. And if you have read it, you know that one of the most epic, best, amazing friendships in all of literature is in this book, and that is Fitz and the Fool. And it starts here, but really it's so much bigger than just this book. Really, it's this entire Realm of the Elderling series, particularly the Farseer trilogy, the Tawny Man trilogy, and the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. So those ones obviously in particular, but I think that their friendship is just one of the most amazing friendships that you will ever read about. Like, I am so emotionally invested in them as friends, and as so much more than that, right? And I think that there are so many instances in this where our characters make decisions that can strain that friendship, that can push it, and it is a lot more than just a friendship because of the connection they have with who the Fool is and who Fitz is to the Fool. But I think that in particular, a part in Tawny Man is what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of this ruin the friendship part. And if you have read it, you probably know, but if not, I can't go into too much detail because I don't want any spoilers, but that's what I'm going for. I think hers is going to be a little bit different, but I think I can still make this one fit. Track 7 is actually romantic, and this one I am going with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I think that the way the romance evolves in this book is so romantic and so beautiful. These characters do not have very much actual like personal interactions with each other, but they know each other so well, and they are able to create things for the other person that they know they will understand. They like see them as a person and are able to magically create things that will mean something to them, that they'll actually like appreciate, right? So I think that this is a really good example for that, because of this knowing someone so well that you can make something that everyone will enjoy, but that person will know that it is just for them, and you just know them and love them that much. That is why I have chosen this one, and I think this will be a good choice as well. I think it's gonna work. Okay, sorry, battery died. Track 8 is Wishlist, and the book I'm choosing for this is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And I think that this song is going to maybe talk about wishlist in kind of a way that is more, I don't have an actual like wish list for what I want in a man. I just want someone who like loves me for me. And that's kind of what you get a little bit in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, right? She just wants someone who is going to love her and remember her, right? That is all she's looking for here. And so that is why I am choosing this. I think it's going to be a little bit different take. Instead of like coming up with an entire wish list, it's going to be just really like, I just want this like super basic, right? And that's kind of what we get in this book. So that's why I chose this one. And I'm feeling pretty confident on this. I think that this is going to be a great choice for this song. Track 9 is called Wood, and I have no idea what this is going to be about. I am winging this. I have absolutely no idea what is going to fit this, so I'm hoping that this book will somehow be able to fit, but I ended up picking The Bear and the Nightingale because a lot of it takes place in the woods, and that's kind of it, so we'll see. Song 10 is Canceled with an exclamation point, and I am going to put on The Poppy War. by R.F. Kuang. And it's actually the like more of the whole series of the Poppy War series. And this one, I think those of you who have read it probably understand, but one, it's orange, which is fitting for the album, but also our main character definitely experiences this phenomenon, and not unjustly. Let's make that clear. Definitely there are a lot of politics going into place that are trying to make it so people don't like her, so she's seen as the villain, and she definitely gets like the villain edit. That is for sure. But also she hasn't been innocent in this, right? She does have these very problematic and terrible things that she has done. So it's kind of like she is having this like being canceled, being made the villain, like people don't want her in this position, mainly because they want the power that she holds, but also it is kind of justified as well. So that kind of dynamic I think we might see in this song, where yeah, you might have done something wrong, but then the fallout and this whole canceledness of it might have some ulterior motives to it. And the experience of that feeling of being canceled, of being ostracized after like you feel like you gave so much to these people and then they try to ruin you, that I think we see in this book, and I think we're going to see in this song. 11 is Honey, and the name of this song just kind of makes me feel like this will be a warm song, one that talks about sweetness and just be a very cozy, pleasant song to listen to. And I am putting on Legends and Lattes because I think that this will just have the same vibes. The actual song and lyrics maybe not, but I think that Honey will be a cozy, warm hug of a song, and that's why I think that Legends and Lattes will fit that well, because it has sweetness to it, right? We're reading a book about someone who opened a coffee shop, and it has the coziness of a coffee shop where they're making baked goods, and it's just a very cozy, warm hug of a book, and that I think the vibes will fit between the two. And the final song on this album, which it was kind of difficult for me to choose which book to put on for this, is The Life of a Showgirl. And I think this one is going to be one that she really like cares about a lot. She put a lot of herself, her experience, and what she went through on the Eras Tour in particular, but in her life having to perform, and then her life behind the scenes. I think that's going to be really prominent in the song. So I am going with Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I think that Aylin could maybe relate, right? Where she is performing so much of the time. She's putting on air. She is very good at it as well. She is top of her game, amazing at what she does. She can put on the act. She can fool people. She can do what needs to be done in order to succeed, in order to get what she wants, right? She's very good at performing, but then behind the scenes, like there's things happening that no one really knows about, the struggles that she has to go through, the really hard things that she experiences, and then just her as a person, not the person she's putting on and the person she is being for the people when she's performing, how she has to be what everyone needs her to be. But then there's just her as well, and the people who really do know the true her and like understand her as a person. So I think that is going to be prominent in the song, but I feel like it's also really prominent in this book series as well. So this is the one I'm picking for it, and I think it's a good choice. Let me know what you think. I feel really good about some of these choices. Others I am just not 100% positive on, but I will try to find a way to make them work once this album comes out. Let me know what song you think you're going to like the most. As of right now, I am leaning towards The Fate of Ophelia. I think this is going to be one that I absolutely love and connect with, but I could definitely see that changing, because going into the Tortured Poets department, I kind of thought I would like other different ones than I did, and I ended up loving some that I didn't even know existed, to be honest, because we did not know we were getting the drop at 2 a.m. But let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. Have a discussion down in the comments. I am so interested to see what other people think about the book choices, this album in general, and like what song are you most excited for? Which one do you think will be a favorite for you? I'm so intrigued to see other people's thoughts on this. Let me know down in the comments and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.